Many moons have passed since I left the town of Tristram behind me. Since then I've tried to forget the terrors I beheld beneath the cold earth and the twisted nightmares that have haunted my every waking moment. There's something dark within me now. I can feel it. Eyes blast to the past, a bitter killer's mastery class, an orb of ice, a centrifuge recasted the fast, a frozen mass. They shattered into glasses of ash, a chill and blizzard wizards cast, and now I'm gone in a flash. And we don't stop, a nova proc, a weapon swap, a unique drop. We're tearing through this chaos, listen to our master rap to flock. The last who pops the moment stopped, he's finally free. Not even death can save him from me. Holy bolt, holy shield, holy freeze. I might smite the Lord of Terror unto his knees. I'll set free the beast within, just to watch him bleed. Pure concentration, no salvation, just to restore peace and bring order to the world. The desecration from my sword, he start a war. I'll massacre the core foundation of the law. This ain't no soul in search of answers, just a hero with a T. And by the time I finish slaying, there won't be Diablo III. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in teratonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. Bring it back to the master of the track. Travel east to find the beast so I can slay him with my rap. Don't need flails or a sword. Tie my hands behind my back. Like a shop up, I'ma kill him with my lyrical attack. Time to let out my battle cry. I don't find the time to grind a level 9 to 9. Support the party blizzard wizard and that summon god. I stand to tank the flank of dolls, but when I try to fight, my damage lacks. Decrepified, I can't attack. I spent my life mastering axes, now I'm damned to cat. Or cries of anguish, they don't care, they want the man or back. Dead dreams of prestige, honor, valor. Now I stand and rap, I go slow. A mental block from years ago, still trapped inside my mind. The frigid Highlands, all I know. Yet as I hit my blows, my vengeance charges start to grow. Look out, Diablo, this barbarian's about to steal the show. I spit fire, but not the weak like Inferno. Ebotted poison over shots crush from my goblin toes. Line by line, I'm breathing rhymes in a red lightning hose. And if you're caught up in this flow, your corpse just might explode. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in teratonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. It's a catastrophe, metallic bashing me. Can't throw blows cause I chose my caricature. Tornadoes, dodging mobs like it's an allergy. Pattern war's a product of a master mastery. I pray to D, pray straight blasphemy. I pray to find a glitch or bug to get me past these three. I'll lose my mind if Talik's extra faster, I can't see. Maddox throws it's time to focus, DJ drop that beat. They're afraid of the pain that I ingrain in the brain. Degrade the brave escapades by throwing shade at the name. My rage builds enter lame, volcanoes burning away. Can't level for a hurricane, chill to the core, can't escape. Soon be no more disengrave statues of gold that I say you're worthy hero. Now go slay the Lord of destruction today. Source and controls road fate. Get to the throne to delay your only hope. Take a moment now, ready, set, play. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in teratonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. They should on assassin and fade for res maxima. Waves of fire setting ablaze to trespassing and slaves. And the masses afraid of the traps that lay waste as they cast on the days by mind blasting. Now faced with the past is the phase from the passage. Remind us of mortality, destruction of reality. A moment of silence, please. Beware, foul demons and beast.
Happy 25 years, everybody. Yay. We did it. We did it. D2 can officially rent a car. Dude, my camera needs to stop trying to focus like crazy. Ah. I'm gonna pirate. Party, party. Pirate. Put this here, that goes there. We're all waiting in line at GameStop 25 years ago today. I mean, I was 10. No, I didn't play Diablo 2 for the first. I'm trying to think if I played before LOD or not. The first time I played was at my friend's house because his dad got it for him and for all of his kids. Yeah, the camera was shaking. That was my bad. So we all went over and played there. But I'm trying to think if, like, he usually got things, like, on release early, you know? But I'm trying to think, did I go over there and play with them in that? Or was it, like, when LOD came out? I don't think I played 1.0 until later on, obviously.
That's something that we want to be.
So. Bought your first copy in Turkey. Turned out to be a copy with game copy crack on the CD. Nice. You took a break from Heroes 3 to play D2 nonstop for 4 months. Nice. Also good. Yeah, I definitely, I mean, I got in, I feel like, in, like, 01. Trying to remember, like, when I was, so it came out when I was 10, then 11. What age? An 11-year-old is going into what? 5th grade? 6th grade? It was definitely around that time. 6th grade. So I became friends with this guy in 4th grade. So, yeah, somewhere between 2000 and 2001, we started jamming on it. And that's where my love was born. And I thought, man, if I could just play this game for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. Nice, Mike. But that was a silly thought to have, obviously. You know. All right. I want to do a review of where are they now, in a way. Because we have... We'll see if they expand this screen or what happens. We have... I guess we can start in this. Moon Beast Productions has their game. We've reviewed it a little bit in the past. So this has a lot of the Diablo 2 guys. And this is a month old. This is a month old. I was slow to check it out. But what better time to check it out than 25 years on the anniversary of the Diablo 2 being released, right? So let's
everybody. Is this mic working? Everybody hear me?
So you got Phil, you got Eric.
Yay. All right. Man, that was cool. That was some amazing music. Thanks, John, for putting that together. We're super lucky to have him making music for us. He's here in the audience, so give a round of applause for everything that he's put together.
25 years. I know.
Just brings so much mood and vibe to the game. It's all come in very recently, and we're super excited about that. So welcome. Thanks so much for joining us here. This feels like just such a big step for us. This is going to be one of these moments that we look back on and say, like, this is where it all started. So I'm just going to say a few words here of introduction to kick things off, give you a high-level outline of what we're showing today. We're just super excited about this, and we're so glad everybody can join. For those of you who don't know, I'm Phil Shank. I'm CEO. We've got just about the whole team here in the audience.
Nice.
This is such a proud moment for us. Give a round of applause to everybody on the Moonbeast team for putting this together. This is, big momentous thing. We're just very excited to share it with you.
They've done a lot.
Joining here on the stage, obviously, is co-founders Peter Hu and Eric Schaefer. Many of you already know us from our past work, right? But we can give a quick introduction. I'm looking around the room like there's an audience here. Peter, with recording is on.
There's Peter and there's Eric. Dive into the goods.
Amazing, cool community.
These are great guys, by the way. Like, I'm sure these introductions are really cool.
I met both these guys.
I know them.
There's a bunch of lore. We all did Hellgate London together, flagship studio.
Yeah, this is kind of their past with all the stuff.
The main thing there is dynamic worlds, and for those of you who've been following us for a while, like, this isn't a surprise. But everything you'll see today is procedurally generated.
Nice.
But we've taken a lot of care to make sure that it feels like an exciting adventure.
I like bringing procedural generation back in.
What that means, at the very core, is that your game world is going to feel different than every other person's game world. It's multiplayer. You can join other people's game worlds, but like that, we believe, is one of the things that's lacking in current ARPGs. Like, everything is just so samey all the time.
Yeah.
And we love like what we did with Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, and we're just going back to that and cranking it up to 11. The other thing you'll see is our worlds are really dynamic. And, this also we've shown in the past, like the terrain is deformable, everything's deformable.
This is one of the cool things about it.
It's very responsive to what you're doing. And we're designing our character classes to
really mess with terrain.
Be purposefully, to take advantage of that. Everything is very dynamic, not just in the gameplay and the combat, but in what's happening around you in the terrain and the environment. So that's it for like the environment and the overall setting. We're going to be showing you our first character class today. This is the Witch. She's a hybrid class. She's got a little bit of magic user, a little bit of fighter, fierce knife and staff fighter. Very, very dynamic. Super fun to play. Super cool.
Doubtful pirate.
Probably the best class to demo everything that we're talking about. You'll see. It's just really, really cool what we've put together there. A little bit about kind of the setting, right? As people are saying in chat, like, it's not demons and angels and blood and hell, anymore. We've done that. That's owned by Blizzard now. We wanted to try something fresh. So it's dark fantasy. We're borrowing things from like folklore, like goblin-y, troll kind of creatures. We're putting in a lot of our new things, new inventions. It's our original IP.
And a lot of people talked about being like a little too cartoony. I kind of liked the look, but I think they are changing it to be a little less cartoony.
It all takes place
we'll see
in like
here
a vast,
today, but that's
wild,
what they kind of talked about.
World. There was a big cataclysm, an apocalyptic event that we're not really going to define right now. But like human civilization is in ruins. So everybody's kind of scrabbling together and trying to, rebuild civilization. It's almost like post-apocalyptic fantasy would be one way of looking at it. And we purposely did this because it just creates this world of endless, unexpected adventure. You go out, you explore. Every world is different. It's just a really vibrant setting, like very kind of unexpected. And it's all about discovery and adventure. Okay, so that's enough introduction. Final thing I'll say before we get going, please post your questions and impressions in the chat. Like, we're going to do our best to address the ones that we get about recording these. We're really going to use this feedback. As you just post about it, and we'll try to answer your question. He's our
Post
best player
feedback
right now,
and
so you're in
comments
for a treat.
below.
He plays the game better than anybody, and the game's pretty damn hard right now. I'll moderate
That's
the
good.
questions. Kat's gonna help. These questions. He's getting there, and he knows the best about all that kind of stuff. Or philosophical the time to cover the questions and get into it. But mostly this is about the gameplay. All right, so it's showtime. Ready, Eric?
Let's do it.
Let's get to the main event.
I'm ready. Here we go.
Let's dive in.
Here we go.
Sharing screen. You guys seeing it?
Oh, that is much less cartoony.
Okay. So.
Okay, first impressions on the look. I like the shift. I like the shift in that. Obviously, like, UI is very basic. Like, these globes and stuff could be improved and whatever. But the overall look right here kind of gives me a little bit of that old school. It's like a newer version of old school graphics, which I like.
I'm just going to play as if I'm regularly playing. This is where I always start in the game. That's our little ramshackle, ruined town, home base. You could explore around. You see right away how we are 3D. We can jump. We can swim. I'll in fact do that in a minute. We could rotate the camera around.
What?
So I like to run up here and get a little lay of the land. Look at look what monsters are out there. I saw some beetles out there. Over here we got some bogies. Across the river there's some bogies. I'm gonna start off by taking care of these beetles.
Okay, this has like a Dungeon Siege Grim Dawn feel to it, and I'm digging it. Wow. Okay, this is cool.
Now
so
my
far.
skill here is a lunge skill, and I will lunge at the monster. It's pretty short range, but it's pretty common combat. Starts with a dagger right now. I'm going to go across the bridge here, or across the river. So we also do swimming.
Nice.
You'll see some cool effects due to the water.
Well, that was
at some
one of the
point
things. In
during this
Dungeon
demo,
Siege,
I
you were like
suspect.
rotating the camera around and
Killing
stuff.
some of these roaches. Now, I just got a blue glyph above my head. I'll talk about those in a second here. Put one away for now. Those guys are pretty tough. Kill these guys here. There's a lot of bogeys over there, and then one of them's alerted on me. These spearmen can be tough early on. All right, I got that second glyph. This is the witch's main one of their main magic lines is this glyph magic. Once I build up 3 glyphs like this, I can release them. I've got to figure out how. Release them.
Nice.
A nice little combo. Combo usually kills a bunch of monsters. Depending on which glyphs I generate, which are random,
Drink a health potion,
I
please.
can
There you go.
I can do different effects for that glyph combo. So the witch is all about building glyphs and releasing the combos. At least the witch build I'm playing now. That is a tyrant, and I should usually kill him fast, but I want to watch his meteor. Whoa!
Jeez.
That's how this all goes bad. Anyway, I'll go get my
Yeah, this game is untitled. It is Moonbeast
Okay, I'll
Studios
talk about the map
untitled
too,
game.
bear with us on the preliminary, on the looks and everything here. But essentially, any sector I go into reveals the other sectors around it. So, I was over here by the ruins. I crossed the river. This is my ultimate destination, at least early on. I'll get to that in a bit. But these are all mysterious sectors. If I go in there, there'll be something there, or it'll reveal other sectors.
Dude, that dude just crushed his
Here's a
face.
vendor. Vendor also has a little freebie chest. Sometimes I can get a good weapon out of. Oh, I did. Oops.
I love
So,
that the chest
pick up a
released
knife.
it up on top there.
Knife gives me good bleed damage, so I'm going to switch to that.
Okay, let's take a look actually at the item.
Picked up a knife.
Okay. Accurate knife of cutting. 23 damage per second. Bleed duration, plus 30 attack. Yeah, he abuses that spacebar.
knife. Knife gives me good bleed damage, so I'm going to switch to
20% enhanced armor.
that.
Pretty
Nice
simple.
little piece of armor. This will help me with that tyrant across the river. There he is waiting for me again.
Did Blizzard release a
Across.
message?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they did.
Got him pretty quick. Put a little bleed on him.
But I released a message.
Woo! Woo!
Maybe I'll release a bigger message later.
All right, got that 3 glyph combo, so we're gonna look to kill some monsters with that. Not that one guy. There we go. I got the level up. With that level up, I get a skill mod here. No,
Okay. Let's see this. So leveled up.
I got the level up. With that level up, I get a skill mod here. No, skill point. So I'm taking the Spine Breaker skill.
Okay.
Spine Breaker. I'll download it real fast.
We'll have to learn those
See a
systems.
monster. It's a missile weapon. It does good strata damage, what we call. Like, boom, and
Jeez.
open a little hidden warren of bogeys.
Bro, that absolutely destroyed the
But essentially, it's
environment
a nice
there.
little, it's kind of a high mono weapon for this build. But it also is handy for digging into the terrain. We'll get to a lot of that during
This
this
is not
demo.
similar to
Let's see,
D4.
where am I
So
going?
far,
I'll
this
get it
does
here.
not feel like Diablo 4.
Head
No.
across. Got a 3 combo. Love to release that. It's my favorite thing in the world. And I do it over and over, so you'll see a lot of it. Later in the game, there's ways to determine which different glyphs I get. There's 3 main glyphs. Whoop, there's a lot of these there. Blood glyph, a bone glyph, and a shadow glyph. And the combos determine the effects.
Okay.
The combos of those glyphs determine the effects when I release it. Boom. So if there's blood glyphs, it puts bleed damage on the targets. If there's bone glyphs,
Yeah, I'm really digging the looks.
bone glyphs do a stun. Shadow
They've really
glyphs
made
give me
a
extra
difference.
mana. This build is a little hard to build mana with, so it's pretty handy to have. But they all, regardless, do nice little area effect on the monsters.
Hey Eric, somebody's asking if the glyphs, if you keep the glyphs, you keep the glyphs, and until you discharge them.
Oh,
Only
there's
4
that.
skills. Oh my
that
god,
dude.
dude, those
Oh,
things are
man.
insane.
All right.
It looks like you can have
Alright.
5
We're
skills.
gonna head out in a new way.
Right down here. One,
There's
2,
another one
3,
of these
4,
guys.
5. I wonder if there's like a press
I
control
don't think
to
you got
shift
this
to
thing
the
up
second,
here.
you know, do like control 1, control 2, or alt 1, alt 2. I wonder if you can like do more skills with that.
I'm V-lining for the place that I want to get to here, which is, you can see on the map there. The bogeys are kind of passive unless you get real close to them. These are quick heal, quick mana ups. They use mana crystals out in the world. Okay, where am I? Kind of right here.
Hey, Phil, did you want to talk about day night? It's starting to get dark.
Yes, it will be night pretty soon, and interesting and cool, scary stuff happens at night. There's different sets of monsters. Everything is more difficult. So if you're having a hard time in a particular
Untitled
area of
game.
the world and it turns into night, you might want to backtrack a little bit.
Interesting.
That helps keep it interesting and exciting, and gives us more bang for the buck for the level. But we're really excited about like day and night actually meaning something. I don't think it's quite ticked over yet, but pretty soon you'll see these daytime
The music
monsters.
will change. One,
Do what?
the music will change when
Yeah. I personally can't hear your music. It's pretty low for me. I don't know if that's just me or.
I'll turn it up a bit. Let me know.
No.
Okay, here's my first little goal, a little thing on the map. To go
Zero
find.
music.
I'm going to click it. Dropped a little puzzle
That's cool.
box, but this has started a catastrophic series of events. Actually,
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Before we get started here, I request to just turn up the overall game audio a little bit. It's kind of hard to hear.
Okay.
Is it loud for
now?
you?
Let's see. It's sure it's loud for me. Is that? I could turn it up more. Should I turn it on more? Let's
There is
see.
zero
What do I do?
music. All right, technical difficulties.
Still low.
Right.
All right, this is kind of standard paper doll stuff. We're doing the Diablo Tetris, we like to call it. All right,
I like Diablo Tetris.
Started it a long time ago. I just got this out of that pillar I clicked though, and gives me a tome that's going to give me an option point here. This, Peter, you could talk to him about what the box is there. I think I like
Sure,
dexterity.
I'll talk about the box and tomes. I mean, everyone who's used the Heredra cube remembers crafting in the field. That's something that we want to be able to do in our game. So it doesn't occupy inventory. You'll notice that once he used it,
Okay.
he can now just bring up that box with the B. And you'll be able to do things like combine gems and do other field crafting in there.
Nice.
The other thing he got was a tome, and that's something that is 8 players of Diablo 1 you kind of remember. You got permanent upgrades like skill books and elixirs. He got a tome that gave him an option point, and those are really handy to find because they augment your character as intrinsic without taking up an inventory slot. So every time I find one of those, they feel absolutely great to use.
Ooh, it's nighttime. Undead are coming.
This looks so good.
Eric, can you turn down now? You turn down your sound effects a little bit. All the sound effects are overly loud. Good.
Okay. I'm going to head
Peter,
across.
somebody was asking me. Peter, somebody was asking about item sorting in the inventory. I know you put a lot of work into that.
I definitely hope, not every area
there's
is
a
this
button you can
muddy
sort all
and
your
brown
items. It
and
works really well. Maybe Eric will do
whatnot.
it. Not that it's
I do
very
hope that
interesting
they
now
have like
because
some
it doesn't
bright
have any
areas
items.
for sure.
There's also a really intelligent auto sorter as you pick
But
up items.
I do like the look otherwise.
Analyzes how many corners it's going to create and whatnot. I think during development it was pretty funny because Eric just didn't believe that it was better. He had his own mental algorithm for sorting items as he's picking them up, and he just kept on posting pictures. And eventually, it turned out that the auto sorter does a better job than he was doing. So that was just an interesting little tidbit from development.
Yeah, go for it, Susan.
Couple things I want to point out, like these bogey ferals, they can only come out at night, and they're way more aggressive than the other ones. Whoops, here comes the other one. Did I use my option point? No. I'm going to grab this option, my favorite option, when I release that Nova combo, glyph combo. There's a 40% chance with 1 point in it that I retain it, and my next release is also a glyph combo. Let's see what's over here in the pond. Usually, we go unique here. Uh-oh, he's very fast and very cold, and he will slow me down. Oop, I don't have any potions, but luckily I have a good dagger. Oh, let's see, he slowed me down pretty bad.
I like it.
Question came up about the red orb. Yeah, those are health orbs that are dropped. And then at some point,
he actually had to
if he's
fight
lucky,
against
he'll
that
find a
monster.
flask that can
That's
sort of
fantastic.
store
I'm like so happy he got to actually fight it.
For later, right now he's got to
Instead
find
of
them
just
in order to heal himself.
On that guy, this is going to help actually. Cold imbued staff. Let's see, that's better. A little dash distance. I like that one better. And do we want to socket these? Nothing that good, so I'm gonna not socket anything quite yet. I'm gonna move past.
I like the staff
Most of
having a
these
little
sectors
cold.
have
Like,
something like that. There's like
I
a
know.
little feature, maybe a unique monster, at least some treasure. I kind of desperately need a flask before I move
Untitled.
on. Damn it. Okay, one thing I also want to point out, yikes. Release a combo. There's another guy. There's a. Let's kill him. Oh, sacrificial knife. That's probably going to trump. Bloodlash is a skill I don't have, and I like the cold too much, so I'm going to stick with the cold for right now.
So one thing to point out is that all of their different elements in the game, and currently there's 6. There's blunt, slashing, fire, cold, and light. They all have different critical effects. They actually have different minor and major criticals. So like your cold weapon will do a chill and freeze if you stack up enough chills, or sometimes they'll do it randomly. They'll do something like ignite people and they'll run around like crazy. Added as a curse effect. Slashing weapons can do a bleeding effect, things like that. And later on, at some point, you'll be able to combine those elements into like para elements, like you can socket items with elements. Unlike a lot of the ERPGs that you're familiar with, your weapons do, a fire weapon does entirely fire damage, as opposed to just a little bit of fire damage on top of the physical damage.
okay. It's like Llama
Pretty
RPG.
dark here in the old growth stand. I'm going to have a hard time fighting these guys without potions. So I might, well, if I die...
Yeah, these bramble husks are actually a little bit resistant to cold, and as you imagine, they're pretty afraid of fire.
That's cool.
Okay.
I like that root.
Not liking my chances against the husks here. With no potions, dying out. Let's, oops.
So one of the things about itemization in this game that I think is pretty interesting is that every single monster has a bunch of unique drops, which makes grinding interesting. People that are familiar with Grim Dawn, you know about monster infrequence, or something like Castlevania Symphony of Night, where you have specific monsters having specific drops, and so you can grind those. And these are base items, so you can, for example, the Bramble Husks can drop a Bramble Staff that has a chance to entangle as a base item. You can find legendary versions of that, rare, unique, whatever. They also have another item, which is a heart, and all monsters have unique hearts. Again, they can come in different qualities. And those are socketable.
It's a little hard to hear him, but he's saying every monster has some unique items that they drop, like
Things that you can get from monsters that have a little bit of the quality. It's like an elemental soul of the monster, and they have a little bit of the features of the monster that you can interact with. And that creates even more.
I hope the inventory tooltips are just placeholders.
Founding.
Yeah, me too. I don't think the
Yeah, if I can't
UI
find
is
a
the
regular...
best. I think like
Rebel.
this looks beautiful. Like the game itself looking fantastic. Really improved there. UI,
It's going to be tough to fight that guy.
don't love it.
Okay.
Actually,
Town
don't
is this
mind the
way.
map. But that bottom UI and then a little bit of how the inventory looks. I like that inventory Tetris is brought around.
And here, like Eric would be very happy to have.
Yeah, but I think
fire
it's just
weapons.
temporary.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
It seems
There's
temporary.
weapon swap in the game as well, so you can switch between elements.
Old
pretty easily.
granddad. Love it.
Christ.
Dang.
Oh, now we got a second one. I got a
Oh,
third
you got
one.
third one. Let's go.
The stamina in this case does not
Old
refer to
granddad's
running.
broken.
It's a stamina that we'll use for like your built-in dash. You have a dash that your player can do.
Woo.
And
Dang, did he
it'll
just
potentially
jump to
affect,
dodge
like,
that?
swim
That's
and a
cool.
few other movement technicals. But you won't be limited in how much you run.
Alrighty. I got myself a unique, or not even rare Oh, I got a flask too.
Combat's
I'm
promising
set.
for sure.
Killing old granddad turns out to be all I needed to do. Just drop some of this stuff.
I was gonna say you can auto sort here, and you'll see a little bit more of the sorting in action since your inventory is a little bit more full.
Ooh.
Yeah, Peter
That
and I
was a
argued
nice
about
auto sort.
what the good algorithm to do it was, but he easily won the
Wow.
fight because it's a great little auto sort.
That was a
Pretty much he's
fantastic
never failed
auto
me.
sort.
All right. One thing I want to point out is this purple. I unleashed this purple. It's called the Shadow. Maybe Phil or Peter wants to talk about what the Shadow is, but this will slowly encroach on the entire map. This is the known map so far.
You're gonna
Given
die.
enough time, this will cover most of the terrain you see right now, and is sort of the first big kind of I don't know what we call it, a campaign or an event that goes on in the game. I'll let those guys fill in a little bit on that.
It's like a world event. You know what? This particular event is probably more extreme than what you'd see in the beginning of a normal game, but you know we really wanted to test it out and make sure it was impactful. And when he goes back, you'll see what's happening. But you've unleashed this curse of the night shadow, and when you're inside of that area, it's always night. The monsters are way higher level than what you're ready for right now, and then it actually is changing the terrain and raising up this necropolis that's spreading out across the world, and it's going to lead to like a big end boss encounter eventually. So the idea is you're not ready for it now. Go do your other stuff, but come back before it
Double
destroys your town, takes over the world. Things get really bad, but that's part of the fun, right? Like dynamic world, everything is changing all the time. It's really interactive. There's you're never really just safe and normal. Like everything can change at any point.
And yeah, it's worth reiterating.
look at
like,
that staff.
The world is persistent, right? You come back to the world. If someone blew chunks in the world, those chunks are going to be there. If you dig a hole and the water flows somewhere, it's all physically simulated. That exists sort of permanent effect in the world, and the world can change dynamically on its own. It can evolve. Holes can, be filled in with vegetation over time or whatever. When you get set on fire, you can go jump in the water and it'll put out the fire. And
to have
when you
layers
go in the
of
water,
stats.
you become wet,
There's
and that
both
gives
D2
you
and then advanced to
resistances
define
to
build and more
fire,
layers.
but vulnerabilities to cold. So there's just tons of these.
I'll definitely be
elemental
curious to see what
interactions
they're
that
like
keep adding more as time goes
affixes
on.
end up looking like and stuff.
But yeah, we just want that game to be super dynamic and with a lot of these emergent interactions.
One of the questions came up here about glyphs, the reprise. So maybe you missed it. He put a mod point into the glyph lunge, and that gives him the chance of getting a reprise every time. Every time he unleashes a combo.
That dude is so brokenly strong. Holy cow.
I almost got killed by that tyrant again. Those guys are
The guy's insane.
scary. I picked this staff even though it is doesn't have an elemental effect, but it's just got a very high attack, and I know it's very good for combat, so kill things faster. I think I want to head over here, just see what's up. I'm venturing forth. This is a harder zone now. This is what we call Crick's Hollow. Knife is probably too low, but I always like to take a look. It is a fire knife.
People are asking about attributes. I need to put some points into attributes.
Sure.
But in general, yeah, they affect all your other resultant stats. So you get to choose what you want to put your points into.
I'm going to dump these into Vitality just because I don't want to die embarrassingly on stream again.
Always dump vitality.
I could kind of talk about what they do, but they're fairly obvious.
The environment is
A lot of the things we're
insanely
doing are
destructible,
sort of
which I think is super
Diablo
cool. I mean, look
nostalgia.
right there. Like,
We have a lot, so many new things, but we love Diablo, so
there'll be a ton
we
of
don't
stuff
fix
with
what's
the,
not
like
broken, I
destroying
guess.
the environment, and You can completely alter
People
your
are asking
world
about the dash, and that's something
and
for all
sorts of
classes.
stuff.
Probably not specifically dash, but we want every class to have some kind of built-in mobility skill.
In the future, you'll be able to change that up, right? Like there are boots that affect your dash. There are boots that affect your jump. There's water walking boots and all sorts of things that are falling. So you get to modify that just like anything else. There are boots that give you more stamina, so you can dash more frequently or have, yeah.
I haven't pointed out that before, but I released the combo with the spine breaker skill. You could do it. Ooh, I think this is the they got a little graveyard going. Graveyard's a lot of fun. I'll show you guys why in a minute.
Graveyard gets intense.
Any strata damage I do often reveals a bunch more skeletons here, but it also can dig up treasure chests, like I just saw there.
Nice. That's cool.
Like, usually these.
One of the big things about our project, I'm not sure was mentioned, is that we really want this to be moddable online in a persistent fashion. The editor works while you're playing the game, and people can, when they mod the world, they can create these. They can bury things under the ground. You can bury an entire city underground if you want to.
What?
And there's just awesome potential in that.
See, these are the things that I think are really good in the showcase. Because, yes, if you look at this right now, obviously this game doesn't even have a name yet, right? It is Untitled Game from Moonbeast Productions. So when you are watching these sorts of interviews, I think it's really important to, or showcases, it's really important to focus in on some of the smaller details and some of the overall general themes, right? And then you give feedback and stuff on the other pieces, but like you don't take it like that is the game, right? Like they're going to continue to clean up. VFX is going to come in and improve spells. They're going to make things look better. They'll make the connections better. Movement will improve some, right? All of that is going to be improved. This UI is pretty generically put in here. This should be improved. If they don't improve this UI by release, like, I would be very sad. So it's like these sorts of things will all be improved, but what am I focusing on and what am I seeing here that I think is really cool? Yeah, think of it like a sketch in the art world. The destructible terrain really being involved, I think, is something that is super cool. I'm loving seeing how the terrain is like breaking down and mobs are unearthing from it. What he just said there was awesome. It's a very moddable game. And in a mod, you could like build an entire city underneath the ground, and then like people could excavate a whole city or something. Like that's really cool. Even just the graveyard right there, having the graveyard be really destructible and lots of skeletons will come up as you destroy it, but there can also be treasure chests and stuff. That's a cool, like, unique thing within the game that I'm really liking. The item filtering was really nicely done. For the auto sort, I thought that was solid. The items so far seem mid. Again, I'll need more information on the affixes and more from that. The inventory UI, all the UI I'm a little like half and half on. I am liking the difficulty that we're seeing here in the game.
People are asking about stamina. Yeah, we
actually
have stamina.
having
It's not
to
quite D2 style.
engage, more carefully.
Current iteration. Oh, whoa. The current iteration, it affects how many times you can dash, and you'll see it down there, or like stamina dots. And we'll probably use it for other things as we go.
So that's the sort
like
of stuff that I'm really
or climbing or any of this other stuff.
Trying to take note.
But yeah, we're trying to make it fun.
It's always worth reiterating that this is very much an alpha. Everything is work in progress. Like the graphics have evolved quite a lot.
There are
improved
devs
quite a
from
lot,
Torchlight on
over the last
this.
few months, and we expect
Devs
that to
from
continue.
a lot of the old D2 devs. Phil, Eric, Peter. Yeah, Eric Schaefer's working
Well, that
on
grave
this.
was full of water.
Phil Shank is CEO. Eric may also be like a co-CEO.
Digging upgrades.
Peter, who's partner with it. And like now the world just has that terrain destructed down. And graphically, I actually really do enjoy these graphics. Again, they may not be for everybody.
Peter, you want to talk about multiplayer a little bit? There's some multiplayer.
You know,
questions.
I'd love to see more
Specifically,
color in some future
party-based
realms,
or
right?
MMO-like or...
Oh, you did.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about multiplayer. First off, it's very different.
Yeah, I'm getting
RPG.
like a Dungeon Siege, Titan Quest,
are
Grim
kind of
Dawn
like servers. You can start a
combo,
persistent world of your own. It can be private. It can be shared with
which
your
is
guild.
nice.
We want to accommodate as many people in the world as we can possibly manage. We're thinking MMO scale, hundreds, thousands of people in a world if we can do that. And be persistent over time. But the person that starts the world is like the admin. It's a lot like Discord. You have control over who gets to join. You can mod it so that it's different. You can control, whether or not people are able to enter from other worlds. So you can link up your worlds, which is like this connected network if you want. And so, but fully multiplayer, server-based, server authoritative, persistent. Like if you build.
I also like that we're not just like flooded with legendary items right now. Like he's using like white items and blue items.
A city in your world, it's there.
It's a small thing, but
it's destroyed by like a volcano or something, or other people. Right? If we allow that. PvP.
Peter, this is
PvP. Like, sorry, just real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
If you start a world, you'll be able to set the option of whether or not how PvP works.
So we've got the father of rune words here, and here's the question: will there be rune words?
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of these pocketables. There's gonna be runes. We plan on having something in the way of rune words. Wasn't super happy with the way rune words turned out in D2. I think I learned a lot from their implementation. We'll do it better this time, I'm sure. But there's something really different about runes too that we're planning on doing, which is that runes work differently for different classes, and that gives them a better chance of having use, right? Because one class, for example, the witch, can tattoo runes into her body and modify her skills using runes, which is something that other classes and that gives the economy a chance to have different uses for all these runes. So even if like a particular rune isn't useful for you, it might be useful for a different class.
I've come across a secluded glaive which has a new vendor out here, which is good because as we see here, the shadow is taking over from there, and it's going to destroy my other town at some point.
What?
We'll do a fast travel back there.
See, like these sorts of things, they have like literally this shadow is coming out, and if it gets to your town, it will destroy your town. This is the like concept stuff that I think is really fantastic and fascinating.
Quick look at it. Let's see. So if I just go outside of town.
One of the questions was, if you die, will items be left on the ground? Do you have to do corpse runs? That's just came up recently, actually, because there's a lot of fun things related to that. Currently, no, that's not the case, but you might see that in the future.
Okay, so this is the shadow right here at the border where the purple is coming in. This is what we call the necropolis, and it is taking over the world in a very strange ways. It becomes a city of the dead.
What?
So everything we see from here on in, these monsters are very high level too. So I'm not going to be able to fight them right now.
Thanks, Antony.
All I can do to get away. But what's going to happen is that City of the Dead is going to. Okay, I'm just getting out of there.
It's going to keep spreading.
It's going to keep spreading, and it's our job to stop it. But I'm not ready to do so yet.
That's kind of cool. It's like a race against the clock. As the City of the Dead grows and spreads, you have to move in the other way to
Running
level
back to
and
town, maybe the last time we'll see town before it gets overrun.
what?
So I'm gonna head back to the secluded clearing.
So imagine like in the game, like I said before, this would normally happen later on in the game. But you do this thing and it's bad on its face, right? The necropolis is taking over the world. But this is one of the ways that you can summon an end boss, or a world boss. And of course, the world boss would have really, really epic loot, super important to do this. But you would get to choose kind of the timing of it, when you want to do it, all kinds of things related to that. Which world boss you want to summon, and a lot of procedural stuff we can do about that, like affect the type of world boss or the level of world boss. The more times you do this, the higher the loot chances you might get. This is like our dynamic version of, end game events, but it's like affecting your world. It's not just this thing that you go do in an instance. It's like literally affecting your world in real time as you see it.
I got an option point before. I didn't spend it. I'm about to get another one. This puts a little trail of field damage, of shadow damage. Over see the black stuff. Helps out on killing a lot of these mobs. Okay, this looks like a cistern, which, now I'm stuck in the water in the deep one. The river giants are coming. Luckily, I got a combo. And I got a second combo.
Oh, level up. I don't know if y'all noticed, level up does a Nova that does damage, right? So you level up and you actually get a little free
Nice.
revenge AoE. So what's in that lava, Eric? You think there's a dungeon around there? Oh, there it is.
This is the lava.
How are you going to get
tunnel
over there, though?
in there. Well, I know that this is a cistern, and there's a chance, if all things work out, that I can break it open, and it'll dump the water out of there.
What?
Put out the kill these guys while we're at it.
What?
And there we go. We got water is flooding out, and it's going into the lava.
Oh, that's dope.
I'll be able to get there without having to catch on fire. Definitely get
There you
close
go.
enough.
You can jump that.
I definitely can. Since this is random, I never know if that's going to work or not. But, okay, first dungeon, I guess we've gotten to. Someone wants to talk about
That's
that.
cool.
Maybe?
What is there to say about dungeons? I mean, there's dungeons, right, in the game. They're randomly generated, procedurally generated. There's all sorts of ones. This is the lava. This is obviously some sort of lava tunnel dungeon. There's embergles in there. They don't follow the day-night cycle. So, like, if you're out in the wilderness and night falls, you can sometimes duck into a dungeon and wait out the night. So that's kind of an interesting thing about dungeons. They're not instanced, at least not now. Like, nothing in the game is instanced, right? So it's all part of the world. Dungeons don't necessarily have to be solvable. You can mess up your dungeon. Like, you can cause a cave-in and not be able to get that particular world, but then maybe you can do your way around it. Because
Wow.
you can dig it, like you can create passageways.
Well, that lava's spreading.
Yeah, you can break those up. Oh, there's another one of these things.
Uh-oh. You got to fry yourself.
Yeah, I got no fire protection gear either, so I don't know why I'm breaking them up other than I like to.
And you elemental attacks. That's the idea, that you'll be able to use your ice spells or water summoning spells. We don't have that yet, but that's the goal behind all of this. It's like elemental, procedural, dynamic worlds and the skills. The more I play this game, and we all play this game, and then we go back and play
Maybe like a couple years.
some other ARPG, it's just shocking how linear and constrained those games feel. You know, I've gotten used to personally, like being able to pretty much go different places and go wherever you want, and kind of something's in your way, you can blow it up, or just expecting like weird, crazy stuff to happen in your world. Like somebody was asking, can NPCs die? Well, you know, obviously there's gameplay issues around that we have to factor in, but villains don't mind if you mess up your world. And then the idea is you got to figure out a way to deal with that. Nothing's, you know, the training wheels are off. We're not holding your hand here. You know, certainly want to always create a way that you have a way to deal with everything. But
I love it. I love the idea that you could like totally brick your world. Like all your towns get overrun, everything gets, you cave in stuff, you mess it up so you can't finish this dungeon.
This game is about. It's like
I love it.
Guardrails are off.
That's
I want
awesome.
to talk a little bit about. We didn't get a chance to, but we'll see a little bit of it possibly in the future. But with the Necropolis, you don't actually have to fight, right? Like there's some characters, some classes or players that might want to align themselves with necromancy, and they might want to encourage that Necropolis to grow. And you know, they might be able to take it over. We have this concept of you being able to conquer sectors of the world and own them. And if it suits your build, if it suits, you know, how you want to play the game,
What?
you can conquer a Necropolis, take it over, and make it yours. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a really cool way
That's
to
sick.
just play the game differently depending who you are. And if you're some bully character, you're not going to want to do that. If you're like a dark witch, maybe you will.
Like we mentioned, you know, at the end of the Necropolis, when you're ready, you go back and you'll be able to fight
That's
kind
insane.
of the, you know, the world boss, you know, maybe like this Lich champion, and claim his artifacts. And like Peter was just saying, you know, then the power is yours if you want it, or you can get rid of it if you're a holy character, not holy, but you know, if that's not your jam. But yeah, like the idea that the destiny of your world at the end of a game, or you know, days and weeks into a game world, it's going to look incredibly different. Not just because of the procedural generation, but because what you've done in the world. The world is a testament to the things that you've done and the choices that you've made and all the epic battles that you've fought.
Right now, I'm in a bit of a pickle because
There
there's
you go,
a
Paladin.
champion or a ghoul here. I have no mana, and the way out is blocked by that lava I released. Oh, there's another way out here. That guy. It's level 5. Ooh. Hitting hard. There we go.
You're doing great. You've fell into your groove. I could never survive this.
I got the loot, so I'm just trying to get out of here now.
Conceptually,
Looks like I found a back way.
Can you Minecraft style dig your way out? That's the goal. Like, you know, probably not.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. You know, like we don't want it to be just like, oh, you just dig and dig and dig and dig for no reason. There's nothing to find. But like certainly being able to dig and find cool new chambers, being able to dig and find some treasure,
Single player and
being able to
multiplayer,
dig
yeah.
and find, you know, an unexpected way to link up two parts of the dungeon. You know, if you want to do that, that's we're gonna let you do that. Like, go ahead and shoot that wall, Eric. Can you? Yeah, you can make slow progress. You're gonna run out of mana, but you can make slow progress.
Mana is a little constrained. That's the one thing that saves the world from not getting completely wiped out. Is it's pretty hard to get enough mana. You have to pretty much farm monsters for the mana. And for this character, it's
Love you, llama.
Thanks, Flamin.
by getting glyph combos that give you mana. Okay, so I'm getting out of there.
Flamin and Anthony.
Whoops. Going back in. Where are we gonna go? Back to town there.
some people who are paying really close attention to inventory might have noticed that there's two types of sockets. There's unique sockets. I talked about hearts. If you're lucky, you can get a unique heart off of a unique monster, and unique hearts only go into unique sockets. And of course, they're very powerful. And one of the ways we wanted to sort of limit it was that you couldn't just stick 6 unique hearts into the same item. You have to find items with those particular sockets.
Peter, people are asking about crafting, and you've touched on the puzzle box, which is our Herodic cube style crafting. Do you want to talk a little bit about our hopes and dreams for crafting beyond that?
Let's hear it.
There's not much we want to reveal, except for that there will be these extensive crafting systems that most modern ARPGs have. There'll be sort of a mix of philosophies between sort of deterministic and random crafting, and there's going to be a combination of crafting that you do in town with specific vendors, where you have to find recipes for. You may have to, unlock those particular recipes, and field crafting that you can just do while you're running around with magical boxes and whatnot.
Yeah, because of the nature of our. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, one of the things that we find really important is like the ability to transfer currencies, like this hierarchy of currencies. So we like the ability for you to sort of combine gems, combine runes into higher or lower level things of that nature. And I think having runes and gems along this sort of set currency lets you know, like whenever you come back to the game, kind of very instinctively pick up rarity levels and things like that. You're not worried about necessarily what everything in the game is worth.
We'll go over that in a second.
Whoa!
Dang.
Barely made it there. Let's see.
Killing in PvP. Peter already talked about this a little bit, but like because you can customize your world, the settings for your world, there will be that option.
Dang, look at that
but
stuff.
it's very opt-in. Like we want people to be able to choose their experience on just about every level we can think of.
All right,
and
like a lightning stab.
Jump
Ooh,
dash
nice.
is cool.
That's a cool effect.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah,
Hard
so
to
the
fight
thing
in the
there
water,
is,
then.
Like the
if you
two
want
days
to create
no
a world
pushovers,
that is
yeah.
all hardcore, everyone in that world is hardcore, go ahead and do that. People can choose whether or not to join.
What?
If you want to create a world that is full-scale PvP or team PvP, all things that we want to eventually people to do.
Lightning doing its thing there.
Mm-hmm. So satisfying.
That's
I
cool.
have, however, gotten to the Gray Mire, which is a level 5 zone here, which is above me. I'm at level 4. The game is pretty hard to fight higher level monsters. It's doable. He was my same level. It's pretty hard. Like I say, the game is not easy. At least
We've kind of purposely made it a little hard right now just to keep it interesting. So don't like.
It's a peek behind the curtain, right? Like, as game developers, we have to play our game a million times, and we have to make it hard, or else, it becomes hard to play the game over and over again. And typically we'll adjust difficulty levels and stuff like that before we release.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm in the, this is what we call the Gloom. It's sort of like the Shadow, and it's this purple area on the map. And inside the Gloom is a Gloom parasite, this skull guy up here. Problem is, you'll see that it's shrinking in on me, this... and the monsters are quite difficult.
What happens in the
Eric
gloom?
will actually start taking damage if he doesn't leave the gloom If he stays too long there, you can see that the light, sort of the radius around him is shrinking.
Dope.
So yeah, one thing when I play this game is if I find that gloom parasite, I try to take him out. That will destroy the gloom in the area, and it's much easier to deal with. But I'm not quite have the ability to do that yet. Maybe if I got a really good weapon drop. We got
And like
another
everything
dungeon.
else in the game, like the gloom is physically simulated, the shadows physically simulated. It sort of creeps along. It has problems going over walls, but if it
I
builds
really
up
like the
enough,
camera
eventually go
shift.
over.
That was
And
something I
gloom
really loved in
meets
Dungeon
shadow.
Siege.
Yeah, those things can interact. You can push against each other. There's things like green. Eric's Hearthstone in his town actually emits green, which pushes back against things like gloom and shadow a little bit. You know, it can get overwhelmed, obviously. But it's really fun, actually, just watching all of these things interact and sort of evolve as the world moves, as time passes. I mean,
I'm very interested in what they're doing here.
Flooded quarry. I might jump into there. That's another dungeon. Just because I got to get to level 5 before I can really fight this in this zone.
I loved it. Just
if Eric brings up his map real quick, you can see how much the shadow area has taken over the world. In fact, it's encroaching quite a lot on his town. And right now, the NPC in town doesn't die when Shadow overtakes it. That's completely on our agenda to do soon.
no, you have to let the NPCs die in town when the shadow overcomes them, which makes sense and makes it even better. That's the stuff I really like. It really does not feel like they're gonna hold
I
hands
know there's a
here.
lot of issues with Magic Find.
Yeah, like
Newbies
our
are gonna
philosophy
just
around
brick
Magic
their
Find
worlds
is
and complain, and that's
mostly
fantastic.
that we want to make sure that that stat appears on certain items and doesn't necessarily compete with everything. So we don't want Magic Find on every single slot where you know, there's that sort of competition. But a little bit is good. So in terms of affix distribution, we're really careful to select which affixes appear on which slots. Obviously,
Today.
legendary can break that. Sometimes crafting can break that. Socketing can break those rules. But we'll probably have like Magic Find mostly appear on certain slots. Like right now in this game, they're appearing on like I think rings and amulets or something for the most part. But that's gonna.
You get the tyrant, he's gonna murder
a
your
lot of the affixes
face.
here are kind of temporary as we experiment with things.
One of the things I feel like
That'd be cool.
we are known for, and I'm saying we, even though I got nothing to do with that. It's mostly Eric and Peter, but like the itemization and the progression and the satisfying feeling that a lot of, well, you know what I'm talking about when I say that's lacking in some games today.
Truth.
But, you know, that's why we all love D2 so much, you know, or most of us still love D2 so much, because it had that, you know, sometimes OP item that you'd find, and it wasn't, weren't just hammering down all the little high points during progression. It's very ups and downs, and, you know, there's really, really fun, exciting moments where you just felt like you were God on two legs, and other moments where you felt like you were grinding and never going to get out of a trough. But
Yeah.
you know, that's what makes these games fun, you know, and these are the people that kind of perfected that formula, and so we're bringing that in spades, you know. So it's a subtle thing. Like, you can't just say like, oh, we have the good itemization and the good progression, but I think a lot of you all know what we're talking about, and we're definitely already seeing it here in this
Yeah,
game.
I mean the progression.
Dang it, I almost said the name of the game. I gotta be careful.
Huh, I'm surprised I haven't.
This is feeling really good.
I love this swamp here inside the cave.
Yes,
I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, many games
Wouldn't
have
be
a flat
surprised if that
plateau
grass
or
just kinda
always
grew
a
on
peak.
its own. Like the simulation was like, oh, there's
Yeah,
water,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
dirt. let's grow some
Good
grass.
point.
It's probably not taking into account the lack of sunlight there, but it's a fantasy world, so what do you know?
Mono regen. I got faster swim speed. I really would like some water walking though.
Faster
before I take
swim
on the
speed.
Necropolis.
I wish
One
this
of the
was
cool
in the
things
game.
about
This is
the
awesome.
simulation is that modders
I'd
can
be so
actually tap
happy if this
into it
was
and change it. Like you can add your
my
own simulation
ARPG.
rules, right? And determine like what biomes there are, how they evolve.
My
things
budget
like
is
that.
much lower than this.
I don't really know any other games like that, and I really look forward to seeing what people actually do with systems like this.
Uh-oh.
Dead.
Wasn't watching my.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you head over to the Necropolis? I think we've probably about time to show. Why did you respawn here? Oh, yeah, in a dungeon you respawn here.
Let's do it. Dang, the Necropolis.
Oh, did it destroy town?
Yes.
Maybe. Let's go take a look and.
If I'll just die instantly if I just go there, but I'll just run down there. I'll get to level 5 if I run down there anyway. So that would be.
That'd be a
helpful
good
to try to find
segue.
it.
Couple of small questions were lingering about the shadow and the Necropolis
Let's see it.
from the chat. So, like, just to be clear, like, can you stop it? Yeah, we've said maybe you want to tame it and make it your own, but the default way to do it is you go and you kill the boss that was summoned along with the whole shadow curse, and then it stops and it retracts. That would just go away and turn everything right back the way it was before. It's permanently affected your world, but that's the world will have a chance to recover. You'll be able to have a chance to do other things with it. It'll naturally grow and evolve and kind of green over, and new monsters will come to live there. But you'll be off in another part of the world at that point. But you might want to go back to that world node where you summon the thing.
That's cool.
And do something different. Summon another kind of end game style event. Going to be like there's no right way to play. Like there's a lot of different ways to play. A lot of unexpected things that can happen, but some of it's up to you as your choices
Exactly,
as
Kai.
well.
Guess we haven't really done this, but you can like zoom in on your character too. I'm not sure if Eric's done that. No, of course, it's hard. You don't necessarily want to do it in the middle of combat.
Now we kill these guys. Oh, what's that? Wave walkers.
Oh, you got water walking boots.
There we go. Now
That's
they
an
can't-
example
What?
of a monster-specific item. You're only going to find those off of these river fang guys right here.
Water
And they have
walking
intrinsic
boots.
water walking.
That's cool.
And I mean, that just ties into our philosophy of always having interesting things to grind for in the game. Oh, and he found a heart too. So
Finally got a heart.
Yeah,
Hearts
exactly.
can only go in the gold sockets. So just take the quick
No,
five.
it's only the unique hearts that can only go into the gold sockets. That's a regular heart. So like
Oh.
if you kill a champion monster, you'll find like if you kill a champion river fang, you'll find a champion river fang heart. If you find a named river fang, like whatever, black water, whatever, that's not you. Anyway, if you find a unique one, this particular heart, and it'll have some of the abilities from that specific monster.
All right. The
Yeah.
Necropolis is
I
grown.
kind of get some World of Warcraft vibes there with like
It's gonna
swim
come in
speed
as
and
I-
stuff.
Boy. Oh wow! It made the whole way over to Crick's Hollow.
I'm almost level 5, at which point I can start trying to fight the skeletons. I can probably
FPS.
fight them and level up. Let's see. Oh, especially with a little combo.
It's untitled, but that link is the Discord. Dang, those skellies are owning him.
All right, level 5 gives me another option point. Oops. We're going to do a double hit of the reprise for 60%, which might sound OP, but it is not.
Till it's 100%.
So I think we're getting close to what we agreed to show, right? Like for the stream.
Yeah, I think this is
Gotta
these
hide a
are the
little bit
highlights.
or something.
He's like, get out.
Man, this was fun to watch you playing this, Eric. It's you did really well.
I'm going to turn off the video, but I'm going to finish up the game myself. I'll join you. All right, thanks guys. Leaving the stage. I guess I stopped streaming. I'm not going to leave the stage.
Dang, look at the audience.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Max.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I think we've got to most of the questions that we want to talk about, and there's a lot of questions that we're not ready to talk about. If anybody has any
made it in.
sort of stuff they want
Carolyn's in there.
Chime in, get in at the last minute here. We'll
She's
take a couple of minutes.
Art
Or
designer.
if, Peter, if you want to say anything more, or Eric, you want to say anything more. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know how to end it. This is great. This is a ton of fun. Really appreciate everybody coming to look at what we've been working on, and hopefully it was exciting and interesting. And
That was fantastic.
Enthused about it. And,
I need to make like a full
we'll
video.
stick around and
now,
keep coming back because this is the year where we're really gonna start talking about the game. And I said this wasn't a game announced, but that's in the cards at some point this year. This is a turning point for us, and it's good. We're excited about it. One of the things we do want to talk about a little bit, because I know there's a lot of people from modding communities, D2 modding communities, and other modding communities in the audience. That's one of the things we do want to talk about soon. We debated whether or not we wanted to make it part of this thing, but decided to just focus on the core game. But we've got some really cool tools. We've showed those before, but they've come a long way. And we can show kind of how it's possible to make things in the editor, live, like Peter was saying, and then just plug them in so that they start spawning in the game. A lot of the things that you saw in this demo were things that we put in just recently, like the cistern and the new town and some of those lava nodes and the graves that pop and, all that fun stuff. Just the beginning, just the very, very beginning.
That's cool.
Excited to see the first Dota mod. Right? We lived through that, right? Warcraft 3, Defense of the Ancients turned into the, MOBA game genre. And we've always wondered, Peter, this was a passion project of his, even at Flagship, we were talking about doing something like this. But, a moddable ARPG, because there's been not a lot of real innovation in the ARPG genre. ARPGs are very, very difficult to make. There's a lot of systems that have to be laid down before you can even begin to talk about it. ARPGs, probably the hardest game to make, along with MMOs. So that's one of the things we want to unlock is the new, weird, unexpected game designs that are based around core ARPG systems. Things that a developer honestly wouldn't come up with. I don't think any developer ever would have come up with MOBAs. It was just too weird and out there. But, the players knew what they wanted, and it just organically evolved out of the ether.
So one thing to mention, of course, is, or not of course, sorry, lost my train of thought. So one thing that we haven't talked about is that the modding is not only live, but it's like multiplayer, right? Like multiple people can be using the editor and build up a world in cooperation with each other. It's kind of really crazy to do, but something that we built in into our network model and into our platform right from the beginning. And it's just a super crazy cool feature. It's like Google Docs, but making a game.
Yeah, nothing else. Like on so many, at least 2 or 3 different like big pillar features. Nothing else out there like it. And there's so many possibilities every day where the team is talking about like, oh, we could do this, or we could do that, or we could do this, and it's at the point, this inflection point where combinatorial possibilities are exploding. So yeah. Eric's face update. Yes, he's really here. He's still alive. We're all still alive. Okay,
There
we
he
are
is.
going to wrap it up.
Finally.
Thanks once again to all of you. Sincerely appreciate it. We will share the link for the stream soon for the people that couldn't make it or the people that want to review it. Thanks for your questions and comments and feedback. And we hope to do this again sometime soon.
Wow.
Thanks, everyone.
That was fantastic. I know that was like a month ago. I didn't get a chance to read it or watch it. This is my first time watching through. And wow. I'm very impressed. They really have added a lot within it. Because the initial videos we saw, they looked cool, but they were just kind of like some basic destructible world. They didn't really know what the campaign and how that would kind of play out. You know, graphically it was different for sure. There wasn't really like items much in the game at that point and stuff. So there's some stuff. There's some stuff there. I've got notes already. I want to make like an official game thing on that. I want to find one thing because we've got something maybe. Where is that? Maybe I just find in, where did I put it? Come on. Save image as. Okay. And then okay. I think we're ready. Darcy, this is an important moment. Check, mic check. Everything good? Go lay down. Darcy, go lay down. Just go settle. Okay, now, okay. Come on. This is we're having a moment here. Go lay down. Go lay down. Thank you. Oh my god. Dude, dog, you want water. All right. What's up, YouTube? Mr. Llama here, and today is maybe the day. Happy 25-year anniversary of Diablo 2's release. It has been a fantastic journey to get here. We've gone from Diablo 2 to Diablo 2 LOD, all of the patches all the way through, taking us to 1.14D, I believe, really, right there. And then some time in between before we were welcomed to Diablo Resurrected with a lot of fantastic changes, some questionable, mosaic, but some really great changes, and just what a great journey for a fantastic game. I know that I have loved it. Obviously, this has been my career, and it has been fantastic. And are we done or not? Because today of the days, on the 25th anniversary, Blizzard has reached out here and said, "Happy birthday, Diablo 2. 25 years have passed since our first foray into the burning hells. If you think you've seen and done it all, just wait for the chaos we've yet to unleash." What does it mean? What does it mean? Now, is this me just getting some hopium? Maybe. Let's take a look first. First piece of potential. There was an email that went out. Let me correct my camera here. An email that went out. Please keep this confidential. Oops. Sorry. There was some in-person focus group stuff for Diablo 2. However, I do wonder. This one I'm not 100% sold on, because what's going on with Sydney? I didn't even get this email. This wasn't even for me. This is in Australia. They're having some focus groups for some Diablo 2 Resurrected players. But for Australia people only, doesn't feel like it totally makes sense. I don't know if I buy 100% into this. Okay. Obviously, Kano's in Australia, but like, why, when they did the Spirit Born for Diablo 4, they like brought all the creators to California and they all like tested there and all these things. When they announced Diablo 2 Resurrected, they like came to me and I got to like announce it, and they showed me pieces and stuff. And there hasn't been any of that. So now they're just like in Sydney, and that's just the thing. I don't know. Maybe Aussies are more trustworthy, maybe, but then, I've got this email, so maybe not. But it is a piece of the pie. Do I feel excluded? I don't feel excluded. I'm not saying that they have to like include me and make me the thing, but maybe, it's like, hey, Blizzard, you could like send me a message or something if you wanted. So we've got that. We also, of course, have the software engineering Diablo Legacy position. Now, again, this is something that has existed many times. Maybe they need a new person to push the reset button every few months. Maybe there is some just generic networking problems that they want them to fix, or if you can, make the servers cost less or something, So again, we've seen this position pop up multiple times through the years and nothing come of it. It also says familiarity with Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Maybe there's a Diablo 3 remastered in the works. I don't know. Again, just we're just taking the crumbs. We're taking the little pieces. Maybe Diablo 1 Resurrected, but they didn't put familiarity with Diablo 1 there. But, you know, we're taking the crumbs. We're putting it all together. But this is the latest crumb. And this one is maybe getting me a little bit more, right? You know, I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not going to believe it. Don't do this to me, Blizzard. I'm not buying it. And then they're like, maybe, oh, here's a position. I'm like, I'm not buying it. They're like, we're going to do an Australia test. I'm like, why is it not Australia? Then they're like, if you think we've done it all, wait for what we've yet to unleash. And I'm like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. You know? But it feels like I want to start hoping. I want to start hoping like, oh, maybe they're going to add a loot filter in a currency tab. Oh, maybe there's Act 6 or they'll finish Act 4. In reality, is it probably like we get a new skin in Diablo 4 honoring Diablo 2? Or they're going to release Diablo 2 on mobile phones with microtransactions? You know, like... and I'm just going to be like, no. Like, at least let me like buy more character slots or something, right? At least give me like something within the game that I actually want. Even if I have to buy it, like make it something I actually want. Let me buy stash tabs. At this point, I don't care. I don't love the buying stash tabs thing, but at this point, I'm like, I would take that over getting hit with something like Diablo 2 Mobile. They're teasing us. They're messing with us. They're messing with us. On the 25th anniversary of Diablo 2, you come into my house. You show up in my house to wish me a happy birthday and say, if you think you've seen it all, just wait for what is next. You better have a pony outside. That's all I'm saying. There better be a gosh danged pony in my driveway with a little bow on it. I swear to God, if you get me a Jelly of the Month coupon or something, membership. If you do some, we're doing a collab with KFC again. I swear it. I don't know. All I know is I didn't get an invite to Australia. Whatever. But, you know, I mean, maybe it's a, you know, it's a, who knows? Who knows? They're getting me hopeful again. And I hate it. I just resigned myself in the last few months to the game, just to it being what it is. It's Diablo 2 Resurrected. It's great. It has stupid mosaic. But it is what it is. You know? But then they're sneaking the little pieces in. Oh, here's a little survey. Here's a position. Just wait till we got what's coming next. And maybe there's more. Maybe there's more things. Warren said there was some like updates to the vendor. I don't know what it means. He also said that literally probably means nothing. So, you know, it probably means nothing. But he said it. He said there was something that happened somewhere. And it was for NVIDIA to fix their DLSS issues on the 50 series. Okay. So that probably means nothing then. Maybe they're hosting in countries in alphabetical order. They're starting with Australia. Then they're going to go to, I mean, I guess there's more countries in front of Australia, like Armenia and Albania. They're doing the ones that they are actually going to like release in. So the next country would be Canada. Then would be Europe. And I guess the United States is at the end. Ah, shoot. Asia would be in front, huh? That's tough. Tough to figure out where the line is, because, you know, it's like where the server's going to be and all. Oh, man. 25 years. Will we get something more? I don't know. All I know is they're teasing us at the very least. So we're either going to get something more or we're going to be insanely disappointed when there's not a pony in our driveway, but instead there's just, you know, like a Diablo 4 pony or something that's dressed up like D2. Well, I just want to say 25 years of Diablo 2, it has been a fantastic journey. I always dreamed that I could continue to play Diablo 2 for the rest of my life and make it a job and all of this. You know, it's wild that we're here. And this is really thanks to all of you. So thank you, everybody, for supporting me and allowing me to live this dream. Whether you're on YouTube or Twitch or some other platform or whatever, whether you've read one of my guides or watched one of my videos or subscribed or donated or anything and everything, my ability to do what I do is based off of millions of people coming together to support me in one way or the other. So thank you. That's all I can really say. 25 years of joy and fantastic times in this game. And here is to 25 more with maybe more stuff coming. I don't know. GG, you guys. Fingers crossed. I'm on the hopium train now. They got me. They reeled me in. They got me. I was so okay with my life. And now I'm all juiced up again. Is that a saying? I think the Zoomers say that or something. GG, you guys. Let me know what you think down below. If there's other evidence or things that you have, post it down below in the comments as well. I want to let's build the hopium. Build me up so I can fall even harder, I guess. GG, you guys. Mwah! Kisses to you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, YouTube. Leak it to me. Leak it to me. What do you know that I don't know? You knew about D2R and didn't tell us. We owe you nothing. Okay, well, I would have told you if I could have. You know, But now I need you to do a solid for me, because you can tell me. You know, like, you can tell me. It's okay. It's okay. I won't tell. You know, I didn't even get invited to Australia. What's up with that? They're having Australia things where they're talking to people. I didn't even get invited. Wrap it up. Okay, Moo Girl says it's time to wrap it up. GG, you guys. Kisses to you all. I am back tomorrow. Maybe we'll do like a 1.0 run tomorrow or some early patch run or something. Celebrate. I know, we'll figure it out. We need to get moving. Okay. It's time to get moving. We've got a party to host. It was not actually a stream day, really, but it's the 25th anniversary. We had to do something. Okay. Yeah. Peace. Are we invited? Ooh. You guys are invited to hang out with Mr. Lamavand. 25-year anniversary party. Double birthday party for 2 friends that we're hosting. But I'll put a little Diablo figurine up to also celebrate Diablo's birthday. GG, you guys. I'm back tomorrow.